We all want to be remarkable.
Your business demands it. Our communities crave it.
You know you're on the right trajectory when opportunities launch you into unexpected directions you never thought possible. Join me, Kate Volman,
and fellow marketing strategist Kyle Sexton every week as we explore ideas you're not considering.
Share stories from others like you who despise mediocrity, and discover how whatever you're building has the power to
change your business,
change your community,
change your trajectory. You know what we're talking about today on Trajectory, Kate Volman?
I do, and I'm excited.
Oh, man. The power of networking and conferences. You just went to a conference, Kate Volman. What'd you do?
I did. I went to Social Fresh, and it was a great conference.
Was it fresh?
It was super fresh.
Where was it? Where was it held? Did you have to get on a plane for this conference?
No, I didn't. I just had to drive to Orlando.
Well, that's a hike. That's a hike, but that's a cool thing about you being in Florida. Lots of conferences are actually held there, right?
Yeah.
So between Orlando and Fort Lauderdale and Miami and Tampa, Sarasota,
lots happening down here. So
yeah,
it was good. I was happy to be part of it.
What was your big takeaway?
My big takeaway was it's all about video. I think almost every speaker at some point talked about video. And so
did they hear each other? Like did the third speaker who talked about video know that speakers 1 and 2 also talked about video?
Let's all put video in the slides. No, definitely not. It was all social media related, content driven, and everyone was talking about video. And one guy in particular was, he talked about user generated content, and it was awesome because he talked about how great it is if you don't necessarily want to create all of your videos, how cool it is to get people to create the videos for you by showcasing your product, your service, and like basically giving testimonials about how much they love you. And actually one of them, what was it? It was a beard.
It was a beard what?
It was, yeah. It was this cool, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to look up the name. I actually did a video with him after and interviewed him, but he talked about this. Of course, I don't remember it because I don't have a beard, but you put, I should have for you. No, it's one of those tools that you like put on your face and like it helps you shave. So like you always get a good beard.
Oh yeah, I have one of those. Mine's called Guy Bar.
That's what it is, Guy Bar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they did you see like they have all these when you get it in the mail, did it come with a little thing that said tell us how you use it and do Instagram. A video?
Shout us out on Instagram. Yeah.
So then you have all these people doing these videos showcasing their product and how they use them. Brilliant.
Yeah, I know. I secretly want to be their next model.
Not so secret anymore.
I forgot this is a public venue. Yeah, no, their marketing is really good. They retargeted me via Facebook, which I did not find creepy in this particular instance. And they've got that kind of a product, right? So you go to the conferences, especially ones that focus on social media, and it's easy to find experts and speakers who talk about this stuff in theory, or they say, this worked really well for me. And we're like, yeah, you may or may not have a company, you have a product. And because you're so focused on that product, and because you're not hyper local type of business, you're so targeted, you get to focus on people wherever they are and create that content. But Kate Volman, was anyone at this conference talking about how local businesses, the brick and mortar, can also use these tactics and approaches?
So most of the conversation was around, they were giving a lot of examples of bigger brands using them. But I always look at this as when I look at presentations where they're showcasing like Toys R Us, for instance, and how they have a new app that you can get on your phone, and when you walk around Toys R Us with your kids, you actually like have your app, and it shows like animals running around and like that giraffe, like, and it's this really cool.
They created their own.
That's a really cool thing.
Yeah, they created their own Pokemon in the store.
Yeah, exactly, in the store. So when you hear about stuff like that, or
bankruptcy though, so like Amazon is the new Toys R Us.
Yeah, but they're doing this to create obviously an experience that will help bring people into the store instead of just buying everything on Amazon.
I think that's terrific for Toys R Us. I think it's terrific for them, and there are hundreds or thousands of locations that are shrinking across the globe as people consume. Where the number one toy is digital now, and like I don't know if Toys R Us should just close up shop or just sell Steam gift cards all day long, because kids are into Minecraft at a time that they used to be into Legos, and Minecraft is it's the digital Legos. But what's the natural pet food store going to do with that technology? It's out of reach financially for them. It doesn't. I mean, apps scale, and Toys R Us is a scaled business model that's shrinking, while others are growing. And I'm interested. I'm interested in how the local, the hyper local, the natural pet food store, the appliance store where I go in and go, I get to go shopping, where you get to turn down all the big boxes that have the apps, right? And I used those apps, by the way, Kate Volman. I used the apps to look at prices for the big boxes, so I knew that I could have confidence going into the local.
Yeah.
So, but why is everybody talking about video?
Well, so here's the thing. I think you see examples of bigger retailers that can do stuff. They have a bigger budget, but you can take those ideas and turn them into local. So anybody can start using video in a unique way to create user-generated content. In fact, I met this woman at a conference that I spoke at. She has these really delicious, healthy snacks. Like one of them is like a carrot cake thing, and then there's just like chocolate brownie thing, but they're all made out of like it's one of those like no preservatives, all that fun, healthy, vegan, raw, all that fun stuff.
I hate that crap.
And they're really good. So she goes to a lot of the green. What'd you say?
I said I hate that crap.
I love that stuff. Right. It's the best.
Go on.
So they go to the green markets, and so she asked if I would look at some of her social media stuff and give her some recommendations. And so I'm looking, and of course there were some things that I think that she can improve upon. But one of the things that I love that she was doing is she would go to these green markets and she would invite people to do those videos about how much they loved the product. And now they started getting more and more, not just at the green market, but just someone with their kids. Like, hey, I'm out and I needed a healthy snack for my kid while we went out to Publix. And they give her these little bites. And that's awesome. It helps. It's obviously they showcase it on their page, and now she can take that and share it on their company page. So things like that, like look at you. You got so excited to buy a washing machine, and did you share any social love? Did you talk about them online? What did you do?
I talked about Kelly's Home Center on my podcast called Trajectory.
Yeah. Shout out.
Well, when it's here, which is an hour and 15 minutes from now, I'm so excited. When it's here and they're going to do the whole delivery and setup thing, I will do some social love. It probably won't be in video because it's just a washer dryer, right? But I don't know.
You seem pretty excited about it. I feel like you could probably rock out a video that would showcase your excitement for.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, video is the number one shared piece of content on the web. And I think that's the point that businesses, whether they're big brands or hyper local, that's their takeaway. Like if you, Seth Godin says, the goal of being remarkable is so that you can get people to remark about you. And so many hyperlocal businesses are trying to use volume, trying to use like loudness, exclamation points to demonstrate their remarkability. But other folks, like the folks at Guy Bar, who have taken this concept of the user generated video, which are basically homemade ads for them, shows you how easy it is to do it, shows you it's like Gary Vaynerchuk says, value before the transaction, jab, 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 right hook. Every single one of those videos by a user is a jab, and a jab is a good thing, right? We want more jabs. Here's something free. Here's how to use our product. Here's a community of people who are also using our product. And then now let's talk about us for just a second. And then back to you, back to value, back to formula-free recipe. Now let's talk about us.
Yeah.
And that formula is most effective when you're using video. You and I have talked about video a lot, Kate Bowman. This is your wheelhouse. You, in your morning show, you do video. You generate a lot of conversation in your community about whatever it is that you're talking about, because it's in that dynamic multimedia format called video.
Yeah.
Yet so many businesses haven't yet taken the first step. You know what I did recently when I was at a conference. You talk about conferences and the power of networking. I spent more than a little amount of time talking about video. This particular conference was in Vermont, and there are some very legitimate logistical issues in that region of the country related to why people are not shooting video. And one of them caught me a little bit by surprise. You know what it was, Kate Bowman?
What?
Internet connectivity.
Oh.
And their connected device is not connected a lot of times. And so
interesting.
Video on the phone is their first impulse, and they look at their phone and they go, I can't shoot video with that, or I can't shoot good video with that, or I don't want to use that because what if I push the wrong button and I instantly send it out into the world? And Facebook Live's got people scared. Like, it's like, am I going to push the wrong button on my phone and instantly be broadcasting to the world inadvertently? Oh my God, that would be so embarrassing. And people are really afraid that they're going to break the internet. So when I asked my audience what their one thing was that was keeping them from doing it, I had a brave person in the front row say, I don't want to use my phone to shoot video. And
really,
it's a good thing I was prepared for that answer, though, Kate. You know what I said?
What'd you say?
Well, in the spirit of jab, 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 right hook, deliver value, 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 something free, and then talk about me. I said, I'm going to send you a video camera. And I did that right when I got home. And she just sent me a thank you note. Now, I'm not saying that so y'all would just send me notes and say, Kyle, please send me a video camera, because in that right behind me, that's not just artwork right there. That's servant leadership piece of artwork right behind me. That's a closet. And in that closet are approximately 43 video cameras that I have been collecting off of eBay.
No way.
For this specific purpose, because I know that a whole huge, big, giant, enormous number of hyperlocal businesses are afraid to use their always connected device to shoot video. Gary Vaynerchuk will tell you, just turn it on. It's not just the world's number one media consumption device. It's the world's largest video production and content creation device. He just says, turn it on. And so many people need something in between here and there. And for that, I have a video camera that's a single focus. It's got one red button on it. It is not a connected device. And it gives people the confidence to shoot video first, and then put it on a format that can maybe accidentally be broadcast to the rest of the world. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense.
Need a little baby step.
My question to you then is, well, of the cameras that you've given out, how many have you given out?
A lot.
Okay.
Dozen?
So let's say let's just make it easy. You gave out 10 cameras. Of those 10 cameras, how many of them you saw a video then that they did and put out?
I don't know. I actually haven't looked for that. And, but that is one metric, right? Is it working? Is it working to create video? I don't even think that's not my goal in giving the camera. My goal is removing a barrier.
Right. But I don't think that's the right barrier.
Which one is it?
Because I think it's the mental. I think it's the mental thing. I don't ever think it's the equipment thing. I think
you're right. It has nothing to do with the equipment. I totally agree. It is a mental thing. And by putting that in their hands, it's one less mental thing.
But are they doing it? Are they actually doing it? I have to tell you, I use a Mevo live streaming camera for my show. I use my phone all the time to record videos, and I wanted to start doing YouTube videos. So I said, I can't use these devices for YouTube videos. YouTube videos are like where it's at. They're like all the cool people are creating, and I'm watching all of these people who've been doing it forever, and they have these amazing videos. So what did I think I needed? I think I needed to buy this DSLR camera, super nice, $1,000. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. And this is going to be the thing.
Did you overbuy? What happened?
Oh,
I'm at the
I
edge
did
of my
not
seat.
need to buy that camera. I used that camera I created about 10 videos with that camera. But for me, this is that camera was the barrier. So, now I'm like, oh, this is like a whole thing and setup. Whereas I know how this works. I know that it's going to shoot great video.
So let me get
and then I have someone else edit it.
Let me get this straight. You imply first you imply that my audience isn't doing anything with my gift. And then you say, you stated it overtly. And then you state very clearly in a recorded conversation that one of the things that got you creating more video was acquiring the camera that was not connected. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not
what I'm saying. Because that's what you just said. That's
not what I just said.
I'll play it back
I was already creating videos.
But you had a mental thing and you wanted to take it to the next level. Well, everything's a next level.
Okay, but I was still creating videos. I just didn't need it. I thought I needed it and I didn't.
If you're just tuning into Trajectory, the podcast, welcome to Kate's and my fight. Welcome to our fight. This is how we fight. I am such a nerd.
This is our first podcast fight.
No, I don't actually think that it is. I don't think that it is. I think maybe it's our first recorded one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I totally appreciate your perspective. I think every objection is a mental thing. And so when I'm sending that video camera, it's a gift that represents a deflated barrier. And if they look at it, if they touch it, the fear starts to melt away. And they're going to say, well, that other excuse that I was using for not creating video or not creating more video is no longer there. So now what's my excuse?
So then are you going to just keep getting them things to?
No, that's called enabling. And I learned from my friend's therapist, I learned that that's not healthy.
No.
It's okay.
It's all right. All right. Well, I am still curious to see.
Social Fresh. What else did you learn at Social Fresh?
So I want to talk about the relationships that I built because that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite parts of going to conferences.
Well, I have a question for you, Kate.
Yeah.
You're known you're known in these settings. Do you know what you're known for?
What am I known for?
You're known for crashing the green room. Did you go crash the speakers lounge?
Of course, I crashed the speakers lounge. It's-
This is why people invite you to conferences. This is why people hire Kate Volman, because you are fearless. And you just go and you're like, "Hey everybody, I'm here." So who did you run into in the speakers lounge? What was
well,
your
you know
what was
what's
your
really
focus
funny? When you do that, if you just walk somewhere really confidently and act as though you're supposed to be there, no one really says anything.
Well, I'll add a little step to that. Don't make eye contact with anybody. It takes a little practice. But yeah.
Or you do, and you just say, "Hey, what's up? Good to see ya."
Yeah.
Like I'm part of the
Yeah.
team. So I got to see. So this is one of my favorite part of conferences, especially on the social side. When I'm fans with someone, or when I am connected with someone online, and we have kind of a fun relationship online, and then I get to meet them in person.
I think it's the other way around, Kate. They get to meet you.
Oh,
And
they
your
get to
energy.
meet me.
Yeah. Did you know that most days you arrive 10 minutes before you get there? Not everybody can say that.
What?
People can hear they can hear you coming. But what's your goal? What's your goal when you go crash a green room? When you go walk up to these speakers, the people like, "Hey, I'm the person who's not been stalking you online."
Right?
And
Oh, well, I've
I
gotten
get
a little.
those
I mean,
too, and it's always fun.
I used to really stalk people. Like when I went to content marketing world, forget it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Rand Fishkin, where are you? Can we do a video? Come meet me in the hallway." Like
Rand Fishkin inspired my mustache, by the way.
that is. Oh, Rand did?
Yeah, Rand.
He's the best. He's such a nice person too.
Smart dude.
Super smart and very nice. So over the weekend, I got to meet Carrie Kerpen with Likeable Media. So I had the opportunity to interview her husband, Dave, years ago. And then I have known her. So she and I are, quote unquote friends, but I've never met her in person. So she walks through the door and she didn't know I was going to be there. And she was like, "Oh my gosh." So that was really fun. She's incredibly nice.
So it's not just a clever name. Likeable Media.
Likeable. Oh yeah, they have a great story. They started their agency way back in like 2008, so right around the time social was getting big, and then I got to meet Brian Fanzo, who I've been following online, and I feel like we're friends, and so I got to meet him. So the first person I saw when I walked in the speaker room was him. He looked at me and just went, "Oh my gosh!" We gave each other a big hug, and the people sitting down were like, "Oh, you guys like know each other?" He's like, "I mean, we've never met in person, but we definitely know each other." And I had an opportunity. I did a bunch of Facebook Live videos for Social Fresh, interviewing the speakers. And after Brian spoke, one of the things I said to him before we got off the video is, "You are exactly who you are on video." And he said, "That is the biggest compliment." And I said, "I know, because it's the favorite one that I get." And that is why businesses should use video, because you get to showcase who you are and why you do what you do. So
15 minutes in, we finally got to the point.
Hey, that was quick.
That was quick. Kate, authenticity. Is the fact that do you think it's people's insecurities about what authenticity, what their version of authenticity looks like? Is it that they're so exposed in video, or do you think that they need to, or there's this perception that they need to be somebody else on video? Like what comes first?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it is just that whole perfectionism. Just we all like, I think a lot of people want to come across very polished, and they have this idea of professional, and that just means I know everything, and I always say the right thing, and I never stumble or.
And I never talk over somebody else. Oh.
What do you think it is?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think people have that argument in their head, and they think if a video is released in a forest and there's no one there to see it, did I really make a video? And there's a chicken and egg conversation going on for so many entrepreneurs about what should I do first? Should I build an audience or should I create content? And I think, where Jeff Walker talks about in Product Launch Formula, he talks about a seed launch where you're doing both. You're engaging them in a conversation, and the conversation is content. Mm-hmm. And the medium is video. The medium is text. The medium is audio or podcast. Whatever the medium is, don't get hung up on the medium. I'm saying just obsess about your customers, your clients, your future clients. Just obsess about them. Think about them. Think about their needs, their problems. They will find you. Do you know why they'll find you? Because Google will help them find you. Siri will help them find you. Because when your content answers questions and your answers are helpful, they get shared. But when they're in video, Kate Volman, they get shared more.
Yes.
You get tagged. Like they don't even need to Facebook. You don't even need to share the video, because people see a helpful video on Facebook and they just type their friend's name and tag them in the comments of that video to share. Like, how much easier does it get? But to be remarkable, we've got to get people to remark about us. Sometimes that just means choosing the right medium. People are using the conversation about medium to freeze, to analyze, to overanalyze.
Yes.
Right? For how many years did we talk about your podcast before you launched Trajectory? Do you see what I did there?
Always working it in. You know who else I met at a conference?
Well, who'd you meet?
I met Kyle Sexton.
Yeah, we did. 2005, St. Louis.
Yep.
That's right.
That's a long time ago.
You never know where those relationships are gonna go, right? Like I had somebody commented when they found out you and I were doing this project together. Somebody commented, they said, I saw this happen a decade ago. I saw this happen a decade ago. And it took you and I a really long time to figure that out, right? To figure out that our mindsets would converge in such an interesting way. And because my specialty, like yours and my specialty kind of keep doing this interweaving and cross-connecting, but you're in your lane and I'm in mine. And we have different perspectives on things. I think it's a beautiful thing. But it all started at a conference. And I think the reason that we met in a conference in 2005 was I stepped out of my comfort zone. Like, it's not out of your comfort zone, Kate, to walk into the green room or a speaker's lounge and go, "Hey, everybody, guess who just showed up?" Like, but it is definitely not my style. So, here's my tip for introvert networking at a conference: give yourself a job.
Yes,
give yourself a job. My version of that at a conference was this: when the conference organizers ask for volunteers, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Say, yes, I'll volunteer. It is the best way for an introvert to get connected. And in this particular case, Kate Volman, they were asking for people who had been to this conference before to lead a session for first timers. And that's where you and I met. And I gave basically the same orientation that I had received a few years prior to that, because it had such a tremendous impact on me. But I am still connected to people from that room and from subsequent rooms when I volunteered to do something that was in my skill set, that was in my wheelhouse, not in my comfort zone at the time, but it was within my capacity to step forward and say, I will do this. And I'm here because somebody asked me to. And you don't need that excuse, but I needed that excuse very much at the time. And I still kind of do. But
really,
I still kind of do. Our trajectory today is Teresa, and she's working on her career trajectory. And she's a solopreneur. She's a 75%er, Kate. You know what a 75%er is on trajectory?
Tell us.
75%er means that they have no employees. She's a solopreneur, but she's been in business for 5 years or longer, and she's a network social marketer, and she's got a health and wellness company, and but she wants to be better connected, right? And she wants to 4x or 5x her revenue, which I love that goal. But she needs a game plan that can help her meet a lot of new people. And what she says, she used the word exponentially.
Yes.
So what advice would you have for someone like Teresa, who is really trying to get connected in a larger way?
So we kind of already talked about it, because
but not about Teresa. Like, we didn't put it in.
Not about Teresa, but I immediately thought of video. Like, if people say they want to meet more people in exponentially, you get to do one video, just you in front of the camera, especially live, and build a relationship with lots of people at a time. And no, it's not going to be thousands of people watching your videos when you first start, but just getting one person watching, then 5 people watching, and then 10, and then you start to build your brand. But kind of taking all the pieces of things that we shared throughout this whole podcast, from that jab, right hook, providing a lot of value, sharing really great information,
delivering
and doing
value
that through live
before
video.
the transaction. Yes. So video is this magnetic ability to both attract and repel. And I think you find your tribe. And when you come into a project like this, when you look at your own business and what you're trying to accomplish, and say, you know what got me here won't get me there. So what got me to this point in my business won't get me to the next point. If you want to 4-5x your business, you got to know that what got you here won't get you there. And this is the time for expansion and growth. And it's such a terrific opportunity, right? So I actually didn't know what you were going to say, Kate Volman, in terms of what you thought Teresa should do. But my version of it was also to step out of your comfort zone, but in a different way. And mine is, we're in this time for the holiday season right now, where there's so many invitations to open houses and holiday events, and holiday, Christmas business parties for your spouse's work, for all these other places. Go say yes. Raise your hand and say, I'm gonna go. I don't know anybody there. I know maybe one person there, but go and give yourself a job if you need to. Go meet the host and say, what can I do to help? Can I do something to help? And even if they don't give you a job, I've got a job for you. You ready? You ready for this, Kate Volman?
Go for it. What is it?
Act like the host.
Yes. 100%. I've said that in a video before. When act like you are the host of the event.
Yeah.
Because then you feel like you just gave yourself permission to walk up to random people and say, hey, how's it going? You having a good time? What brought you here? Not the random, weird, creepy, hi, what do you do? Here's my card. Like, don't be the creepy person in the room.
Well, I think that you gave that was probably the best advice about networking and connecting. If you're insecure about being there, it will show. But if you go in with a plan, that will also show. And the insecurities end up coming off a little creepy sometimes, right? They get like the social awkwardness of network. But you know what? Everybody has that fear of extending the hand for the first time. And whether it's going to a conference or shooting a video or just announcing to the world that you're that you represent a tribe, you're putting yourself out there is the first step in just growing. And in your own business trajectory, you'll be able to look back and you'll say, you know what, that was so hard at the time, but looking back, it's so easy now. It's so easy now. And you can give yourself this new skill set.
Go for it.
You just gotta do it. You just gotta go for it. You just gotta go for it.
Do it.
Jump off. What advice do you have to get people like Teresa onto the next step in building their tribe so that they can 4X or 5X their business? And let's focus on the topic today is about networking and connecting at conferences. What's your advice? Is
the next time you go to a conference or a chamber event or any, like Kyle said, any holiday event or things that are coming up, say yes to it. And then identify just one. We'll start with one. What is the one goal that you want to get out of going to that conference? And it might mean to meet someone or connect with someone new or make yourself talk to 3 people that you would have otherwise been too nervous to go up to. And we want to know how it goes. We want to know how that experience goes for you.
Should they do a video?
They should totally do a video.
Here's how the video goes. Hey, my name's Kyle, and I'm in my car. I just came out of a networking event during the holidays, and I was really nervous to go in, but I knew that I just needed to have a goal and give myself a job. And anyway, I think I felt something shift. I think I just got trajected.
Yes.
And then tweet that video at Get Trajected or post it to facebook.com/Get Trajected. Hope that shift didn't hurt.
Not too bad, at least. Just a little sting.
See you all next time.
Hey, thanks for listening. If we could, we'd reach over and give you a big hug. But since we can't, before you go, can we ask you a favor? In order for us to create shows you can't wait to listen to, we need your feedback. So please head over to iTunes and leave us a review. It'll only take a minute, but it will mean the world to us, especially if you decide to give us 5 stars. And if you really loved it, take a screenshot, share it on your favorite social media sites, and invite your friends to join the party. Until next time, get trajected.
My washing machine died after like 15 years yesterday, Kate.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But, most people are like, oh my God, a major appliance. This is terrible. But for me, I'm like, lottery. I get to go shopping.
For appliances?
I don't care. This is great. So, when you have a major appliance that goes bad, you can go big box or you can go local, right, Kate?
Of course.
And which do you think I did?
You better have gone local.
You know I did, girl.
Yeah.
You know I did. I did. And man, okay, here's my experience on local. No high pressure sales. No, hey there, can I help you? Guitar riff. That's a Wayne's World reference. Never mind. And just really friendly, helpful. Hey, let me show you. Based on what you just told me, let me show you 3 different sets in those categories, and here's what I like and here's what I recommend, and the choice is yours. And when I looked around, like, the number of options blew all the big boxes away at this particular place, and holy moly, it was amazing. They had all these people that were, and I come to realize that they had all these people who were kind of in this little phone bank area, computer area, and they all had invoices and things. This place was so busy working with contractors, it was insane. And I happened to run into the owner, because sometimes that's what we do, Kate. We like...
That's what happens when you shop local.
When you shop local, you happen to run into the owner. And somebody that I've known for a long time. But, I'm in disguise now, Kate Bowman. I'm in disguise. I have this bearded thing going on, and people have never seen this side of me. So I get
you're in disguise. Yeah. I thought you said I'm in disguise. Like,
I'm into skies. Is that what you thought?
Skies now. All the clouds and the birds.
I'm in this beard is what I'm into. So people, after more than a decade of working for a Chamber of Commerce, which is like living in a fishbowl, I get to walk around my own community as one of the people. Nobody recognizes me from my previous role. It's great. I highly recommend it, Kate. I know you worked for a chamber for a long time. You should also grow a beard, and if you want to kind of blend in.